From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Raiders lose 30-23 against the Buffalo Bills. You're watching the Las Vegas Raiders Report, and this is the time to vent. This is the time to get out your frustrations and everything that's going on in your noggin right now. I want you to throw it in the comment section. Let me know how you're feeling. And if you're watching this not live, join me after every live game. I do a post-game reaction. And honestly, y'all, I am pissed off because this was a bad performance by a Raiders team. And sure, you're going to say, Mitch, they only lost by 7 points to the Buffalo Bills. Y'all shot yourself in the foot. You had bad turnovers by Derek Carr. You had a really bad fumble by Darren Waller when the game was 23-16. I'm mad. And I'm mad because you see glimpses of a young football team that's like right there where they're giving you hope that they can take that next step. And then they show you, then they revert back to just being an average football team. I'm so sick and tired of average. And if you're sick and tired of average also, man, like the video. And if you want to get your questions featured here, if you want to get your comments on the show, use hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat. It's going to be the easiest way that we can put you up here right on the channel. Josh Allen wasn't honestly all that great in this football game. Yes, the defense gave up 30 points again, but it came down to turnovers. It came down to just bad performance overall. And when I was doing my live chat, the amount of comments, the amount of questions that came around this, Paul Guenther, let me know. Is it time for the Raiders to fire Paul Guenther? Type FPG or just type nah. If you are going to type FPG, you got to have the mindset of this. If the Raiders move on from Paul Guenther, it's not going out and finding a new DC. It is hiring the defensive line coordinator, Rod Marinelli. The reason why Buckner was fired this past offseason and the reason why John Gruden brought in Rod Marinelli is for the easy transition. Remember, Marinelli was the defensive coordinator for the Raiders back in 2002 when John Gruden won the Super Bowl. So let me know. Type FPG for Paul Guenther if you want to get rid of him, or type nah for nah. I still don't think I'm fully on the fire Paul Guenther train because I really don't think the defense played all that bad. But am I frustrated? Yes. Is it time to look into the defensive coordinator job? Is it time to look into the defensive players where you got to figure out somebody? Because I'm sorry, I tweeted it out and it went viral on Twitter. Eric Harris is not a starting safety in the National Football League. Go out and get an Earl Thomas. Go out and get an Eric Reed. But if you don't go out and get these better players, maybe even a Ha-Ha Clinton Dix, if you're going to sit here and say that Eric Harris is better than the safeties out in the free agent market, you're just lying to your fan base, and you're lying to every fan out there that's saying that the Raiders are in win-now mode. Because by the Raiders not going out making moves, sorry, you're not in win-now mode. Let me calm down here for a second and tell y'all, hey, go subscribe to this channel here. We have the #1 fastest growing Raiders channel on YouTube. We appreciate everyone watching right now, and I hope that you can understand my frustration, and I hope and I know that y'all feel the same with me. If you bleed silver and black and you want the best for this team, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I've got some comments coming in here from Winter. What's up, my man? Defense did so bad that game. Now we got to play the Chiefs next 2 and 3 before the bye. Yeah, I anticipate the Raiders do probably lose to the Chiefs because you're not going to beat Patrick Mahomes with the performance he had today. But the schedule does get a little bit easier. But the defense, I don't think, played horrible. They didn't play great, though. Let's go to Spurs here, 47-57. Guenther got to go. Opponents dropped 120 points in 4 games on them. Seriously, yeah. Seriously. Now, there's also some injuries, but if this wasn't just an every-year thing where the Raiders' defense was bad, no. I mean, we're going on like 10 straight years of the Raiders' defense being horrible. Got to get somebody that can actually get players in the right position. Why is LaMarcus Joyner bad? Why is Corey Littleton bad? There's rumors around that they can't figure out the Paul Guenther defense because even Paul Guenther doesn't know what the Paul Guenther defense is. Our Nation Sports 1, appreciate the question. Let's put aside our differences with AB and fire Paul Guenther. So you can always say FAB on the channel. I'm all for it. But if you're going to go fire Paul Guenther, you got to then be ready to make the move with Rod Marinelli. I know everyone was excited about Marinelli in the offseason, but at the same time, the defensive line, I'm sorry, it hasn't looked good either. So if you want to type FAB, if you want to type fire Paul Guenther, the deal I made with people is like, hey, if we get enough fire Paul Guenthers, Maybe I'll make a t-shirt about firing Paul Guenther. And if you guys talk about AB, the reason why we've been talking about AB is because there was no Henry Ruggs. There was no Bryan Edwards. Did I think Nelson Aguilar played a solid game? Yes. Zay Jones also started out solid. But the amount of people that have been like, Mitch, why don't the Raiders go out and sign players like, I don't know, like a Dez Bryant? The reason why the Raiders don't go out and sign Dez Bryant, he doesn't fix your problem. Dez Bryant at this point in his career is washed up, and he is not as good as a lot of these other players on the team. I'm sorry. He had an Achilles tear in 2018. He went and tried out for a few NFL teams. They said, no, we're good. The other player that I know was good for the Raiders, but I'm sorry, if I hear it one more time about Michael Crabtree, it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense for a young team to go out and sign a 33-year-old wide receiver, a team that is in a transition to try to be younger. Michael Crabtree, Dez Bryant, they are fun names, but they are washed-up wide receivers that couldn't make it on about 5 NFL teams the last 3 years. They had their chance to try out. We're done talking about it. Let's move on from Crabtree and Dez Bryant. Lucy Lee, get a picture. Do you think the DC will get cut after his contract? So Derek Carr. So will Carr get cut? So right now, Derek Carr going into next offseason, if you end up moving on from him, it's going to cost you about $2.5 million against the dead cap. However, it ends up saving you about $20 million. I've said for a while, if the Raiders don't make the playoffs this year, if you're not 100% sold on Derek Carr being your franchise quarterback, you don't bring him back. You potentially move on. Did Derek have a good game stats-wise again? Yes, he did. He's got 8 touchdowns. He threw for over 300 yards. But if you actually watch the game, you can't tell me, if you actually watch the game from last week against the Patriots, that you could sit here and say, Derek played well. You can't, because it was a dink and dunk type of offense. Again, a lot of garbage time down at the end of the game. And when it mattered the most, the Raiders didn't score touchdowns. Now, the fumble from Darren Waller, that's not on Carr. I'm not going to say that's on him. But he did have a bad fumble again. And for me, Derek Carr is a 12, 13, top 15 quarterback, but he's not a top 10 quarterback. And if you want to really be able to challenge for a Super Bowl, which that's the goal every year, if you're not in it every year to challenge for a Super Bowl, I don't know what you're doing. But for him, for Derek, he needs talent around him. And again, we see time in and time out, when he doesn't have a fully talented team, they're not going to get it done. So as much as I want Derek to succeed, if they don't get it done this year, I'm sorry. It's time to move on. Let's also talk about Darren Waller here, who was probably this top option. He had 9 catches on 12 targets, 88 yards, but the story that's going to be on Darren is I don't give a shit about how many yards he had. I don't care about anything else besides the costly fumble. It's 23-16. The Raiders have an opportunity to score. They're marching down the field. Darren catches the ball, has a costly fumble. Next play, Josh Allen hits frickin' Stefon Diggs for 49 yards, leads to a touchdown. You want to talk about momentum shift? That was it. Darren, I'm sorry, you're really disappointing me today. So let me hear it. After 4 weeks of football, you've seen the team, offense, defense. Which player are you like, all right, Mitch, needs to step up? Throw it down there in the comments section below. Is it maybe a LaMarcus Joyner? Y'all were chanting for Amik Robertson. He played like shit today. He gave up a 44-yard touchdown to Gabriel Davis, whoever the hell that is. And then on the very next time he was on the field, he had a horrible missed tackle against Devin Singletary. Amik Robertson looked everything bit like a rookie. And I know I'm angry, but I'm frustrated because you can see the talent, but you can also see the inexperience. And I'm just frustrated, man. Very, very frustrated. Let's go to the next question coming from our guy, Ted. What up, man? Is it time to worry about Jacobs? I'm not going to worry about Josh. He's fine. I mean, Jacobs hasn't scored a touchdown in 3 games, but it's more to do with the offensive line in this game was atrocious. I mean, Colton Miller played okay. Rodney Hudson played okay. Denzel Good was a little bit below good. But, I mean, Sam Young, horrible. And Gabe Jackson, I hope Gabe Jackson goes home and takes a cold shower because he should be embarrassed by how much he's been, just how bad he's been the last 2 games. The Patriots embarrassed him. The Bills, I mean, Ed Oliver, Gabe Jackson better call Ed Oliver daddy the entire week. He better call that entire Bills defensive line daddy the entire week. He was terrible. And why the Raiders were running on the right side of the offensive line, I see a lot of people getting mad about Paul Guenther. John Gruden deserves a lot. He deserves a lot of heat after this game. Bad play calling. And in points where I get you didn't have your best players, I get you lost by only 7 points to a Bills team that's better than you right now, fully healthy. But the play calling on 4th and 1, the play calling on a fullback run to Alec Ingold even when he runs into his own offensive lineman. Dude, man, like I'm so sick of it. Got a super chat coming in from Nathaniel Rubio. What up, my man? Outlook for the season as of right now. Love the show. Much appreciated. I would say right now the Raiders are going to go into the bye 2-3. Hopefully you can come back out after the bye. You can beat the Bucs at 3-3. The Raiders' schedule does get a lot easier. I'm going to continue to stick with my original projection of 9-7. Hopefully 9-7 is good enough to get you into the playoffs. But if they don't figure it out quick, it's going to be a long season. Me is Lewis. Mitch Carr is a top 10 quarterback. He has 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. Stats don't lie. You are not a true Raider fan if you hate Carr. So first off, that's not true. You can dislike Derek Carr and be a true Raider fan. I know a lot of Raider fans that don't like Derek Carr. 8 touchdowns, no interceptions, stats don't lie. I hate to break it to you. Stats do lie because when it matters the most, his stats aren't all that great. He put up a touchdown in garbage time, put up a garbage time touchdown last week. Look at the fumbles. I don't care about no interceptions. Look at the costly fumbles. He had a costly fumble and then another costly fumble. Derek is a good quarterback. He's not top 10, though. But y'all can get your votes in here. For me, he's probably like 12, 13. But to be able to put yourself in that top 10 conversation, I'm sorry, I'm not a hater. I just think I'm trying to be real with y'all. Like, Derek is good. He's not top 10. But let me know why for yes and for no. We'll get some shout-outs here. I see some people asking me why. Because a top 10 quarterback can get it done no matter who his receivers are. Carr has not been able throughout his entire career to be able to get it done when he doesn't have top receivers. Like, I get it. Not having Ruggs, not having Bryan Edwards, that hurts. And when he had those guys, it looked a lot different. The offense was a lot different, and it was fun. But you see a lot of other quarterbacks out there, that are able to get it done without top talent. That's the difference between Carr. He's good. He's not top 10. Y'all can hate at me all you want. And if you want to continue to hate at me, you can find me. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. He doesn't make other players better from Jay Raden. I don't fully agree with that, but he's not good enough to be able to fully carry a team. We've seen it. Top 10 quarterbacks win no matter what. Whether you have a top 10 team or not, they win. Look at the Seahawks. Seahawks actually are not a very good team, yet Russell Wilson is amazing. Brody, what up, man? Carr needs to be better, $25 million a year for what? He's not getting paid $25 million, first off. And this is the other part where this is where I'm going to defend Derek. If you want to talk about quarterback contracts right now, there's not a better contract in the National Football League minus Cam Newton, who's making about $7.5 million this year, than Derek Carr. Derek Carr making $21.5 million at the quarterback position is an absolute steal. Look at Jared Goff making $31. Look at Carson Wentz making $30. $21 million is a very good deal for a quarterback. Let's go to Xavier Unyudos, I don't know, using hashtag Raiders. It's time to replace Eric Harris. Oh my effing God, yes, it's for Chucky heads, believe it maybe. It is time to move on from Eric Harris. He is not a starting caliber safety in the National Football League. I don't care on what team you're on. He's not there. He can't cover. He can't tackle. I get that he's a captain, and he is a great locker room guy. But this is the National Football League. I'm not here to hang out participation trophies. I'm not here to make sure that every player gets an orange slice at halftime. I'm here to win football games. And Eric Harris can't be on the field when you got guys like Earl Thomas, Eric Reed, Clinton Dix. I don't even know who else is out there in free agency. Let's go out and get a freaking player. Oh, my God. All right, Jay the Baller, Super Chat. Much love, my man. Thoughts? John Gruden was better. He's not being Chucky. I don't really know. I think John Gruden is being John Gruden. I think he's being a older coach who runs the West Coast offense, who is afraid to change who he is because he feels like what he did in 2002 is going to work now. The issue is football's a lot different, and he needs to get The offense needs to get more fun, and I wish I could come up with a better word, but when you see other teams that have fun offenses that put their players in situations, that's what I want. I don't want to see dink and dunk, and it doesn't work in today's game. I mean, you see it all the time. When you stretch the field, when you throw the ball down the field, things happen. Maybe a pass interference. I mean, there's been more points scored this year than any year through the first 4 games. Why? Because holding penalties way lower. Pass interference is way higher because the NFL wants teams to score. Move the football down the field, things happen. I'm done with dink and dunk. You know what else I'm done with? People not wearing their mask, and I'm so sick of the coronavirus, man. Like, so done with it. I wish I was in Vegas right now watching the game, but you know what? I can't because of this thing going on around the world. Make sure you're stopping it. Make sure you're wearing your masks, and for a Raider fan right now, you got to be doing your part because John Gruden didn't wear his. Some players at a Darren Waller event didn't wear theirs, and I'm in full support of the Raiders players going to the Darren Waller event. Obviously, I wish they would have wore their masks, but if you want to wear the mask that the players have on, you can go get it at chatsports.com/Raiders mask. Mask you see on screen, $19.99. So we do got some injury updates here from week 4. Malik Collins, he left with a shoulder injury. I don't know how serious it is. I'll probably keep you guys updated on Tuesday when I talk about the show. Remember, I go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. Another player who was out week 4, no surprise, Trent Brown. Trent Brown now has been a member of the Las Vegas Raiders for 20 games and has played in 10-plus snaps and only half of them. That's embarrassing. And I get that his calves are injured, and I get all this stuff, but I've also covered the Raiders. I mean, it's my freaking job. I don't know if his whole heart is into it. Because when you look at the pictures of him not standing with the team, when you see him not standing with the team during the post-game when they win, it's frustrating, man. You're paying this guy $21.5 million. Trent, get on the football field because I'm sick and tired of talking about the injuries. Another player who was out was Henry Ruggs. Don't expect Ruggs back until week 7. He's been battling a knee and hamstring injury. I've seen some reports out there that said he could return in week 5. He's not going to return in week 5. He's going to be out again in week 5. They're going to rest him for week 6. Then he'll be back fully healthy for week 7. So if you got anybody saying otherwise, you can tell them to, hey, message me. But I'm telling you, Ruggs, he's out week 5. He'll be back week 7. Another injury to keep you guys updated on is Damon Arnett. No surprise here when the news first came out of him banging up his thumb. Again, because of Jonathan Abrams' reckless play. Arnett, he's down probably for a month and a half, could be 6 to 8 weeks. He had surgery on the thumb. From everything that I've heard, the surgery went well. He posted on his Instagram a thumbs up. I know it's ironic. However, he does look like he's going to be back 6 to 8 weeks. But again, quarterback that he drafted in the first round. Has Arnett played well? Not really, but it's still a loss. Another receiver that was out today's game was Bryan Edwards. He's been in a walking boot. I don't anticipate him back also until week 7. So I guarantee you one thing. We're going to be talking about some potential receivers that the Raiders can go out and sign. We're going to talk about some potential players that the Raiders can sign in free agency because defenses look bad. Offense didn't look great either. So that's something we're going to talk about. Right on cue, Spurter, 47-57. Could we trade for a wide receiver from an 0-4 team, Houston or the Giants? Giants, no. Honestly, even Houston, I don't see them trading either. The most likely player that I could see the Raiders going out and trading for, and there's 2, and it's because of the Paul Guenther connection. It's from the Bengals. Either you're going to go out and trade for a player like A.J. Green, pay him a lot of money, which is not the move I would make, or for a team that wants speed, go out and trade for John Ross. John Ross has not been a very good fit with the Bengals. He's the 4th wide receiver on that team behind A.J. Green, T. Higgins, and behind Tyler Boyd. He's by far the cheapest. If I'm the Raiders right now, I at least try to figure out what John Ross's cost is, call him up on the phone, go out and do it. Also saw some reports out there for the Atlanta Falcons, the Raiders being interested in Julio. That's not true. The Falcons are not moving on from Julio as it stands right now. But if I would say the most likely receiver the Raiders could go out and try to trade for, put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram. You can tag me. I'll back you up. I think it's for John Ross. Now, if you want your questions featured on the show, you got to go ahead and super chat right now. If you don't do it in the next 30 seconds, guess what? This show is just going to go to loop. Now, I'm going to take a deep breath. This was a rough game. The Raiders dropped 2 in a row. You're still 2-2. Now you got to go in up against the Chiefs. And yes, the next 5 weeks, they don't look all that great. You got the Chiefs, you got a bye week, got the Buccaneers, Browns, and the Chargers. But I want everyone right now, take a deep breath, type Raider Nation for life, because win or lose, I am going to be back here next week. I'm going to be back on Tuesday doing a live show. So type Raider Nation for life, and if I missed your question, hit me up on Instagram. I am at Mitchell Renz 365. I hope everyone has a good rest of their night. If you're over 21, maybe go out and get a drink. Maybe go out and get 2. We'll be back next week, though, for Raiders vs. Chiefs Watch Party. If you haven't already, please hit that big red button that says subscribe. Raider Nation, I love you. Hope we can get a win next week.